What the fuck is going on? Welcome to my first ever video. Very exciting stuff, I know. So I just wanted to make a short video today so you guys can sort of absorb as much information as you possibly can, and then you can fuck off with your lives. So today I wanted to clear up some of the lies around facial bone growth. Specifically, all the people online claiming that you can physically grow your zygos or change the way your skull looks with a kilogram of sugar. If you know, you know. Okay. Now, a lot of these people, they are straight up making shit up. That was a firework that went off. All these people are straight up making shit up because they want views or they want to sell you some bullshit ass method. Okay, I want to take a different approach. I want to build actual evidence on what does and does not change the face as an adult, as well as other self-improvement tips. Also want to experiment on myself and document everything in real time so we can see exactly what's legit and what's not. I'm going to have to pause the video real quick because I think I might need to shut my window. There we go, we are resumed. Okay, so if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, I'll also offer that. I don't just coach you on how to look smacks, but actually how to build muscle, lose fat. I'll go into peptides, hormones, dating, gut health, and the list goes on. I wanted to take a look at this article explaining Wolff's Law so that we're all on the same page when it comes to discussing bone growth. Blah, 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 blah. States that the bone in a healthy animal will adapt to the loads under which it's placed. If loading on a particular bone increases, the bone will remodel itself over time to become stronger to resist that sort of loading. The internal architecture of the trabeculi undergoes adaptive changes, followed by secondary changes to the external cortical portion of the bone, perhaps becoming thicker as a result. Okay, it's not perhaps, it is scientifically backed up that it does get denser and thicker. The inverse is true as well. If the loading on a bone decreases, the bone will become less dense and weaker due to the lack of stimulus required for continued remodeling. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? This only works with directional mechanical load, not random impact. Bones want constant stress. It doesn't want blunt trauma. A lot of you guys think that Wolff's Law is smashing your face with a hammer and then it will grow, which may be only partly true, which is where we'll get to in a bit. Some people out there think that Wolff's Law works in the sense that you are putting your body under mechanical load, not just the bone that you're using. Meaning that some people think that your face also adapts to Wolff's Law since it's also a bone, and it does not work like that. Your face will improve to a few other mechanisms in weightlifting, like increased collagen, increased IGF-1, and testosterone. But this does not have an effect on facial bone development, and that's a misunderstanding. Wolff's Law is local only, okay? The bones only adapt in the areas where that mechanical strain is actually being placed. When you are squatting or deadlifting, the tibia, femur, spine, and the humerus are under load. Your zygomatics, maxilla, and mandible, they aren't. So Wolff's Law does not directly apply to what we want to achieve. But what if I told you that there could be a similar mechanism? It just has a bit of a different name. And this is where we go into subperiosteal hematoma ossification. This is an interesting mechanism because yes, while you are bone smashing, we're actually increasing the frequency of set times to form the hematoma. Before I get off on a tangent here, let's talk about what the fuck a hematoma is. Right? You've definitely seen fighters with the fucked up cauliflower ears, and it kind of looks like it's been through a fucking meat grinder. The reason why that happens is due to blunt trauma to the cartilage, resulting in a hematoma, which is what forms between the bone and the periosteum. Now, the periosteum, if you didn't know, is a thin layer of membrane that is wrapped around the outside of the bone, and that's where the ossification comes into play. So you have two options when it comes to hematomas. You can either drain the blood from the site where it is formed, or you can take time off from the cause of trauma, and your body will basically reabsorb the blood, and that's it. The thing that actually makes it to be a permanent change is continuous repeated blunt trauma to the area without letting it heal. So what you'll notice is that the ossification of the hematoma on cartilage tissue looks random and weird, and that's because cartilage has really dog shit blood flow, and the body literally patches itself up with random fibrosis, collagen, and calcification. Now when it comes to the face, obviously it's a much more ideal environment. How could this potentially grow facial bones? Just wanted to show you guys a pretty high IQ thread that I thought was quite interesting. It has been posted at .org regarding subperiosteal hematoma ossification. One study showed professional horseback riders with a significant bone hypertrophy. It only occurred in those who practiced horseback riding without a saddle. The hypertrophy resulted from direct trauma and impact with the hip bone. For some perspective, individuals had up to a 92% increase in bone diameter and a 268 increase in cross-sectional areas. So when you're not using a saddle, you're mainly using your inner thigh to hold onto the horse, using your core and balancing over the horse's center. So what explains a hypertrophy in the bone? Okay, what's going on? The only thing that points to it being is subperiosteal hematoma ossification. In this study, scientists and the author both stated that this is in fact the case. Pretty fucking interesting shit. I also want to show another study. Okay. Scientists wanted to study the effect of direct impact on the bone shape in skull bones. They designed a device to deliver direct impact to the bone. They applied the impact only twice, just 2 light hits, and measured after 2 weeks and then after 10 weeks. After 2 weeks, there was a mild bone hypertrophy, but after 10 weeks, there was a severe and very clear bone hypertrophy. This shows the effect on bone hypertrophy continued to increase even after only 2 impacts. The study also mentioned that bone hypertrophy could occur due to trauma. There are actually a lot of other studies that have been done regarding this process of hematomas. I'll link the thread down below so you guys can have a look. With that being said, how do we apply this mechanism in a safe, controlled way to said test subject? You all know that hematomas are formed due to constant trauma. I guess we'd basically do the same, but to our face. Okay, now shout out to Blake Speaks on this hypothetical method. So basically, we're going to be using 2 somewhat heavy and evenly weighted objects, whether that be 2 hammers, 2 soda cans, or 2 drink bottles. Just go with whatever you can find that are both the same weight. Then when smashing, apply equal force to each side, meaning bilaterally, in the sense of hitting the exact same spot on both sides. Before you start doing this though, make sure, and please do this, you are taking aspirin. The body needs to stop bleeding by forming a controlled clot. That's how you prevent blood from leaking endlessly into tissue. Aspirin in a controlled dosing can help form the hematomas better and maintain it better. Taking aspirin, you want to dose it at once to 2 times per week. Try not to go over this dosing amount, as aspirin can stay in the blood for up to 48 hours after taking it. It is also fucking terrible for your gut lining and will most likely strip away that protective gut barrier in high doses. So don't be a fucking retard. And there we have it, guys. Obviously, it's quite similar to bone smashing, just through a tweaked mechanism that you guys now understand. I will also be applying this method to my hypothetical test guinea pig to see if this theory is bullshit or not. Okay, I'll probably make a monthly update on it or some shit just to keep you guys in the loop and document the process. If you want to follow me on TikTok, you can follow me at tristan.marshall78. Post mainly peptide education on there, so if you're into that, go have a look. I'm going to be posting a variety of different things on my TikTok in the future, not just peptide stuff. So stay on the lookout for that. And again, if you need coaching, please send me a message on TikTok. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to help push this out into the algorithm. See you later, losers.